Hello and welcome back to another Black City Coffee vlog. In this video is gonna be about business planning and financial stuff, business stuff. So these questions are kind of hard. I get them all the time and I'm really kind of reluctant to give anything specific or adviceful because it's so particular. It depends on what city, what county, what state you're operating in, what country even, right? But so with that all said, I feel like that's kind of common sense. I don't think when you're so hungry for information that you're actually maybe having the best filter on, you're just kind of trying to soak up everything. And a lot of times if you're new to running a business or doing any sort of business type thing, you'll want to immediately just like absorb everything like a sponge, and not all that information will apply to you. And you don't really find that out until later. Even if you don't get the most accurate information right now, I think it's really good and smart. And I think, you know, just a common courtesy for me to tell you that and for you to be aware. Like to say to yourself, I'm new, I'm probably just gonna absorb all this stuff, but a lot of this stuff, it may not apply to me. And just to keep that in the back of your mind, because it sets you up, I think, for more success mentally and emotionally, because in the beginning, when everything is new and you haven't gone through the ropes and you haven't started a business or just even gone through all of the technical stuff, the boring stuff, the paperwork of running a business, it could be kind of taxing, or it could be really exciting and everything, or you could be signing up for something maybe that you don't particularly need, like LLC versus S Corp versus sole proprietorship. This is not a video about that. All that stuff is probably gonna be on your own time and your own research. And that's, I think, the part that people don't wanna do. That's the real work of like actually starting a business, is like figuring out what you actually need. That's a lot of work and time. I get it. When you're starting a business, you would hope you could be passionate about something, right? You don't have to be passionate about all the things. That would kind of like get you through the monotonous or maybe even the tedious parts of running a business. And this question, or like topic, I guess, it comes from Ben, and he says he's in the process of writing a business plan and financial projections for the next 3 years. I have never started my own business. If you have any tips that you would like to share. I know all states are different. Good. So I really appreciated this question, because I feel like, Ben, you're doing the right thing of like saying, hey, it's gonna be different for everyone, and I know that, but do you have any tips? And you're not, you know that it's just gonna be a tip. That I can only give you anecdotal experience or evidence, because as you guys can see, and I responded to Ben and I said, well, Ben, as you may know, I did not run a business with my coffee. I mean, you can kind of say, like I've said before, that I'm running a business, but it's really just this side hustle that I can maintain at a very small volume and isn't overwhelming at all. I've done all of the basic things that I need to do to run this online business. I don't have a storefront. I don't go to any trade fairs or anything like that. I just basically do it on my own time. Do online sales only, that's it. Doing it in a neighborhood like I am doing. I have sort of an unsaid agreement with my neighbors that I only roast when people are away, like to work. I try not to do it when everybody's out and about and trying to enjoy the outdoors. The smell of coffee is not the best. It doesn't smell like coffee. It smells like something burning, right? I know that it could be a nuisance, and I try to be mindful of that, and I batch a lot of my roasts on days and mornings when I know nobody's gonna be around in my neighborhood in a good block, you know what I mean? Doesn't support me in any way. It pays for itself at this point, which is cool, because we do such a small volume, and it allows me to have fun and just do my passion. It's a good setup for me, you know, it's a hobby. It's really just a passionate hobby. And after a year of announcing that I'm not gonna like pursue coffee as a career, I'm pretty happy with that decision. I think that was the right decision. And now we're moving in ways where it's like, cool, we're going to invest our time and money in other things, and maybe that will lead to the real lifestyle that I want. Because I didn't necessarily want to be working in a roastery full time. And so we're trying to find ways to supplement that, still make more money without, you know, becoming slaves to another business. Because we've done that already. We've put in the work into our main business where we didn't do anything, go anywhere, spend on anything. And now we get to kind of like reap the fruits of our labor in a way where it's not, we still have to clock in, so to speak, but you know, it's a good life. It's a very good life, very blessed. So I'm gonna try and share some tips, maybe like 3 tips. I'll try to stay away from like general stuff. General stuff, Google it, okay? Just put a question into Google and then see which answer kind of aligns to you, because everybody's different, right? And then maybe that will put you on the path to like asking more specific questions and then getting more specific answers, all right? So I gave you one. The first one is realizing that you shouldn't take in all the information that you're getting if you're a newbie business owner and trying to plan your business and all of that stuff and trying to put together a business plan. Not every piece of information will apply to you. Just know that, okay? So that's that's tip number 1. It's not the number 1 tip, but that's just number 1 off the top of my head. Number 2, start to develop systems. I think I told you this, Ben, over email. Start to develop systems. Systemize everything that is repeated in your business. So that's taking in an order, to shipping, to roasting even, receiving green, processing green, everything. There's so many little systems that happen within the big system of your business. Think macro. Try to break down all the like macro systems that happen in your business. You know, like incoming lead or lead generation, incoming lead, lead acquisition, lead meaning like a possible sale, lead acquisition, and then processing of that lead, whatever that means for you, and then like delivery of the product, and then after product, something happens then, right? So like trying to break down all those systems, that's like a sales funnel or a sales system. You could break that down. You could break down the system of like how you show up to your business. So like if it's, I'm not gonna work in my, you know, coffee business until, I don't know, 1 p.m. till like 8 p.m. I don't know, whatever. Just like put parameters for yourself to work, you know, make it so it is like a 9 to 5, because even though I came from a world of going from 9 to 5 to like saying F 9 to 5, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur, I now see the beauty 13, 14 years in the 9 to 5 structure and systems that they build within the 9 to 5 ecosystem. Okay, there's a reason why you clock in at a certain time and you clock out a certain time. It keeps work there at that time. It keeps it separate from your personal life. And while you don't have those lines yet, or maybe they're super blurred right now when you're starting off, just keeping that in the back of your mind to help you maybe not be completely separate at first, but to like inch your way towards it and to plan for that, to plan for a system where you don't have to be there all the time. We call this scaling, right? You don't want to be at your, generally, you don't want to be at your place of work and working every single job when you're first starting out and still doing every single job, 10 years later. You will need to scale that and maybe hire out for those different jobs, or just be in a specific area of your work that you excel at. Maybe it's not even like CEO, maybe it's like you're really good at the books. Maybe you're like CFO now. You just handle the finances or things like that. Or you're really good at marketing, so you just kind of like handle marketing and become the face of your brand, and then you hire out all the other parts that help run your company. Plan for that. Scaling, better systems that work towards scaling your business, systems. Number 3 tip. So one of my biggest, I think, failures when I was trying to launch Black City Coffee, and a big reason why it did fail, is that I could not fulfill all the 3 hats that you need to run a business. In general, my belief is that you need the technician, which is the worker or the roaster. You need the visionary, the entrepreneur, the head of the company, typically the owner or the founder. And then you need the secret one, the one that everybody always forgets, is the manager. The manager bridges the gap between the visionary and the technician or the worker. They kind of make those two gears turn in sync. And by separating those into 3 hats, we don't burden one person with everything. Now, it's really like lightning in a bottle if you can do all 3. If you can work and be the technician and show up and clock in and also manage incoming leads and sales and outgoing leads and sales and marketing and image and branding and all of that stuff, and making sure that kind of gets communicated to your workers and your technicians. And then also be a visionary, an entrepreneur, and have an entrepreneurial, ambitious, risky spirit to be able to be headstrong in the face of like all your competition and all the shit that you're probably just gonna go through as a business owner. You need to be able to fill all 3 of those hats. Now, I'm really good at the middle one. I've become a master at the middle one. I'm a manager. I didn't know that in the beginning. I developed skills to become a manager, to become a bridge between a worker and an entrepreneur. I don't think, like I said really early on, I kind of called it out. I kind of knew myself that I wasn't quite a visionary and that I was really trying to exercise that muscle, but I just wasn't naturally inclined to do that. Now, do I think I could do that if I had the right motivation and the right ingredients and the right sort of atmosphere and timing and all that stuff? Yeah, but so can anybody, right? So in my case, I could not, in spite of all of my best efforts, which I don't think I was willing to sacrifice what I had in order to fill these 3 roles. I'm older now, you know, like typically when we start a business and we're trying to wear all 3 hats, it's just a little bit easier when you're younger, you know? Like I always just have the example of my husband and other entrepreneurs and photographers that we know who are still in this game, who are still in this business and still doing all the hats, still doing all the things, okay? Visionarying, managing, and working. So I have that comparison, and I was able to do that for a while, but it killed me, which is why I retired from the worker side. I could not quite hack it as a visionary and an ambitious entrepreneur leader, like a head of a company or something, but I was excellent in being a manager and making sure that everybody here is good, everybody here is good. I'm really good at that. I'm like the best first mate on the ship. I'm your first mate. That's who I am in my core, in my personality. So I think that's just my belief, okay? It's just one person's opinion, but I truly believe that that's why, you know, it was a failure to launch sort of situation. So I'm just saying, those 3 hats, you're gonna have to do them all at first. And you can totally do it all at first. The problem is time. And as you get older, you get tired and you're like, gosh, I've been doing the same thing over and over. Maybe I don't have a system, or I never have time for myself, or I never have time for my family, or I'm sacrificing something to do all 3 of these hats. You know what I'm saying? So like, you need to find a way, whether you're the worker, the manager, or the visionary, try to like lessen your hats as time goes on, as you start creating better systems for yourself, right? And making them more efficient, because you can have a system, but maybe it's a shitty system, right? It can be inefficient. So make sure it's an efficient system, or it works for you and it makes you money and you don't lose your mind. And then also, what was my first tip? Just like knowing that not everything applies to you, okay? And a lot of times you're just gonna have to be down for the uncertainty, the pure adventure of it, the pure risk of it, the pure like passion of it, the pure suffering of it, okay? This is the real deal McNeil of what it means to be a business owner. I've played all of the hats, all of them, and not for like a short time. For the last, I don't know, 15 years of my life. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good chunk. And even when I was working a top-notch, like 9-to-5 job, working with the county, being a hazmat inspector, I was still entrepreneuring on the side, shooting on the side, freelancing on the side, right? So I've been there. But again, that's just my one person's experience. So those are my 3 tips in the most honest way I could say. And looking back, I don't regret any of it. That's just our path. I'm very grateful that we made the sacrifices that we made to come here. I would not be in coffee without our first job, without the ability to pay for this crazy roaster and then think about it for a solid like 3 years and play. It gave me the opportunity to play around with the idea, which I'm still doing today. And play, I need play. We all need to play a little bit, have fun. If everything is stressful, if everything is hard, try to find the fun in it. If something in there doesn't like, you know, you're really weak at it or you really don't like to do it or whatever it is. Like for me, it was like before, I really hated Facebook ads. Trying to learn it, trying to do it, trying to do anything with Facebook ads, which was a part of my job at the time. And I was like, I gotta find some fun in this. Like, so I made it fun by like making cool little videos and stuff, right? And I got a kick out of that. And so that would be my little carrot. So make little carrots for yourself, have fun, and good luck to you then. And good luck to all of you who are doing your coffee businesses. I'm so elated when I hear that you guys, maybe you watched a video 3 years ago, you started your own company, and now you're selling your own coffee. It makes me so happy to hear that. And to be a part of your story. So that's so cool. But yeah, hope that helps. I want to see you in the next one. Bye.